Well, good afternoon, everybody. It's about 3:15 or so on a Sunday afternoon, and for all intent and purposes, the arbor is now done. We have one sign that Karen has painted that will go right at the top joist, left to right, and it simply says Woodwind Acres, hand painted on cedar. Essentially, we were able to anchor all four posts. You can't see it, but underneath there is one bag of, I guess, expanding, high density, high strength polyester foam that is cut by SIKA, S-I-K-A, and it's the equivalent of two 50-pound bags of concrete. I'm not so sure that I would go that far, but it seemed to work pretty well. It's set up extremely good, or extremely well, pardon me. And on this side, I'll go here. You can see it's all ready for planting. Ground has all been compacted. And these two filled up. We had really a very large hole, and it wasn't really meant to fill that kind of a hole. The hole was essentially supposed to be about 12 inches wide with a 4x4 post in it. And I could see that that's how they came about, that it would be equal to two 50-pound bags of filling up that hole. But these holes were about 18 inches wide and about 12 inches 12 by 18 and 18 inches deep, so it only filled up about the bottom foot of the each post. But when it hardened, it was really solid. On top of that, we started adding sand, but instead of just layering it on, I took a 4x4 post and just pounded, compacted the sand around each 4x4 post, and then added a little bit more, it's not sand, it's actually soil. Nice rich soil, and that compacted very tightly, and kept doing that until we got just about to ground height. Karen's going to be adding plantings and some topsoil right between those, and it will grow up the lattice work, as you can see the shadows of the sun, and hopefully go all the way to the top and maybe even go across, I'm not sure. But anyhow, the bottom line is that if you take your hand, and I will do this for you, and try to shake this post, I'm trying to shake it back and forth. Not only does it not move, it doesn't move at all. So that's a pretty good thing. We added a couple of extra secure bolts, pardon me, lag screws at the very top. They're called timber lock screws. And that far left rafter is now tied into the 4x4 post, which gives it extra rigidity. But we're really happy with the way things turned out. Hopefully the sun won't get too much of a flare here, and everything still remains plumb. We had about 60-mile-an-hour winds here yesterday, I think it was, close to Sunshine Skyway Bridge, and I was thinking, oh, what's it going to do, since the only thing holding the arbor in place at the 4x4 posts was pretty much nothing. It was just sitting there. So we came by and it was in perfect shape and nothing happened. You can see some wind issues here, branches, so forth and so on. But the bottom line is that the arbor at Woodwind Acres, we call it the Gardens Arbor because it's actually the portal, the entranceway, the front door to all Karen's gardens. And I'll just back up and give you one last pan. And you can see all of the rocks are now in place at the very base. And we have a couple of extra rocks left over, but really pleased the way things came out. At the very end of the build, I went up with an 11-inch board, made sure every single one of those was perfectly spaced at 11 inches apart. Since they're 1 inch wide, the centers would be 12 inches right dead center, and boy, they are just perfect. So with that, we're just going to see how things shake out as far as putting the climbing roses at the bottom, and Karen's going to be searching those. Probably there's a garden shop that's open on Saturdays, and they carry a number of these specimens. So that's about it. I won't go into any more detail, but the spline is now added. The spline cover is now added. I'm not sure if you can see that, but slightly, it's Kona brown, but they all stain a little bit differently. And the same thing is on the other side that covers up the bolt heads, which are recessed, and it looks really kind of nice. So that's about it. This is the Gardens Arbor at Woodwind Acres in Zolfo Springs. And there is a great frame shot. All for now. I'll take pictures. Bye.